Ontario Provincial Police Constable Allan Stevenson is a walking miracle. Crossroads staff members were praying for the former fellow employee, and we have a story to tell. Allan, you're a man full of surprises. We've worked together on the road, I don't know how many years ago.
I've been here since I've been a kid, so could have been any time.
That's right, because your dad hosted a program here way back, the cooling of the earth, I don't know, a long time ago.
It was back in the dinosaur days. He actually produced the French version of Huntley Street, back when there were multiple languages.
That's right, and so you were in the groove very early.
I was.
We have a couple of pictures of some of your adventuring here, both as an employee and freelance, and I think the first couple of pictures you're in Israel. I looked at one of these, there's Mike Wright with you there.
Yeah.
And the next picture, I mean, I just was there. Are these the steps of ascent? These are the steps Jesus walked to the temple.
I believe so.
Right.
There's a lot of steps in Israel, but yeah.
Against the wall, the Herodian wall, the wall of the old city. And you moved on to CTV, worked for them.
I did. I directed some of their entertainment programming, and I learned a lot about just the different part of the television industry, but I learned a lot about working with the same group of people every day who come from very diverse backgrounds and have diverse views, and it really shaped just shaped who I have become and my career choice and my career path in order to be able to interact with so many different kinds of people and various mindsets and ideologies. And
good. It's a big world.
It is a big world.
I want to be a full-hour person. Well, you shocked me the day you walked into this building in a police uniform. You also had lost a great deal. You didn't look like the person I worked with years before.
I was a hefty boy before, yeah.
Yeah, lots of changes. I didn't realize, I should have, that a blue shirt, and we'll see in the pictures coming up, is auxiliary police?
Light, I think generally in Ontario, the light blue shirt has now become the auxiliary or a special constable designation. And when I had decided to change careers, I kind of tested the waters a bit, and I became an auxiliary with the Haldeman OPP.
What was the attraction? You loved your media work.
I did, and I still do. In fact, I miss it sometimes. You know what, I don't know. I went out on a ride along with my cousin one night. It was a busy night, and I just got hooked. And I came home and said to my wife, I want to do this. And she told me to, she rolled over and said, go back to bed, you know, go to bed.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
It's all in a dream you had.
Yeah, but I think that just began something in me. And the more we prayed about it and the more we agreed as a couple, we really agreed that that was a good direction and a good choice. And
look at the fun things you're doing. Next picture.
Yeah. That's my graduation.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's, I'm actually wearing the white shirt now as opposed to the light blue shirt. And that's my cousin, so he came and presented my badge with my uncle, and that's me on the road a couple of years ago. And yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with my platoon mates, and that's when I just started my first summer. And great people, they accepted me as a family member.
Platoon.
Yeah, our platoon's pretty tight.
You're called a platoon.
We are, yeah.
It really is a band of brothers.
Yeah, well, it's a paramilitary organization, right? It's run that way. There's a ranking structure, and we respect that. But it really is, you know, when you go to police college, you learn about being a family and looking out for each other. And
this family was very important in the journey that began 6 years ago. That's where the crisis began. Tell us about it.
Well, my wife and I had decided, it looked like things were working out for a career transition into policing. We had decided that we were going to get some extra life insurance. And I was declined for that insurance based on some sort of medical reason. And so after meeting with my doctor, she was perplexed, and it took about a year to figure out that I had an autoimmune disease which affects the liver, and it's called a primary sclerosing cholangitis.
That is, I'm glad you said it.
It's got a lot of letters in it.
Is it pretty rare?
It is a more rare form of liver disease.
But these autoimmune things do seem to be popping up, and they attack something. In this case, it was your liver.
That's correct, yeah. And what it does in a nutshell is it starts shutting down all your biliary ducts inside your liver. It starts clogging them up, and so the bile that's inside you, all the bad stuff, just has no way of escaping, and you start becoming toxic. For the most part, though, you can go on a fair amount of time and not have any issue. And for me, it was never an issue. Even when they were trying to diagnose this, I didn't know any different.
You didn't feel badly?
No, I kept running, kept getting in shape, getting fit, ready to go, and just took regular medication.
When did it turn a corner?
Last summer, so summer of 2013, probably around July, I was still working, and I just started getting really tired, just no energy. And over the month of July and August, I began to become more jaundiced. I was getting yellow. And just there's other manifestations, symptoms that come out when your liver's not working right. Very itchy, extreme itchiness. And so my hepatologist sent me to a specialist in Hamilton at the Juravinsky, and he tried a different scope to see if he could open things up. And it didn't quite work out, but I felt a little bit better for a couple months. And then by late November or December, I started getting very sick. And it was determined, I was hospitalized right after Christmas. And
was it the day after Christmas?
It was 26th or 27th, yeah. I spent New Year's in the hospital alone. But in any case, there was nothing they could do. They said, the time's come, and we knew someday liver transplant would have to be the option. And so that was it.
You made, of course, your platoon aware of your
my platoon was amazing because
off work.
Yeah, they came and visited, and they paid for Jennifer's parking and all that kind of stuff, and brought coffees and chocolate milk and all this kind of stuff. They took good care of us. So when I went back to work, actually while I was in the hospital, they
we miss you, Allan. There's a love note.
Yeah, that's my team, and they're awesome people. When I went back to work in February, I was on light duties, and I just said to them first shift back, like, guys, I need a new liver. It's that simple. And probably within 20 minutes, 2 people had approached me, and even one of them had texted me, said, you're not going to perish on my watch.
Oh.
And yeah, it's very cool, to think that people who, for no other reason other than to call themselves a brother or sister, would step up to do that.
I hear they clogged the system. So many stepped up to be tested.
The transplant coordinator was talking to me one day, and she said, can you please tell them to stop calling? We can't handle all those assessments.
Can't process it all.
Exactly. So,
but was there a viable donor there or not?
There were a couple. They had begun the process. They had to write the 2 major issues for match is blood type and size. And there were a couple who were being assessed. But they had done their initial part in Simcoe, where we police, or where they live, with their doctors, but they still needed to do a big assessment at the London University Hospital transplant unit, and they hadn't gotten around to that yet. And so I was getting better and better, feeling better, which in itself is miraculous, because I came out of the hospital quite sick. And
I have to interject here that your mother-in-law, Sue Bush, has worked in our partner services division here at Crossroads for 22 years, faithfully taking care of our constituency, and she kept us posted on where this journey was going. So we were all praying.
Well, God's good. The prayers, you can't deny the power of prayer. You can't. It's and the awesome thing is that my platoon is very much aware that that's the way I live my life. And they accept me and love me as one of their own, and as do I for them, no matter what they're feeling or believing. And
May 15th.
May 15th
rolls around. That changed your life.
Yeah, we were honestly expecting, because I was told that a deceased donor would be 1 to 2 years. And so we were honestly expecting that a live donor from my detachment would be the viable option. So May 15th of this year, just about a month ago, Jennifer and I were supposed to go to a fundraiser that was
for you,
for me, and the phone rings.
Just interestingly, we've got medical coverage here, but in a situation like this, there are lots of additional expenses.
Yeah, you've got. Well, in our case, really the fundraiser. I insisted the fundraiser would be mostly to cover the costs, the unexpected costs of the donor,
because he or she.
They wouldn't have planned
out of work, and they have recovery time. Exactly,
and I just figured one way or another we'd make it work, but I wanted to make sure they were taken care of. It didn't work out that way, and so at 5 a.m. on May 15th, we got a call. It was the transplant coordinator, and she said, "Allan, it's such and such from University Hospital. we have a possible match. Can you be on your way to London within the next hour? And Jennifer was beside me, and we were speechless. And so we
had to move quickly.
We did, yeah. It was, you know, you gotta, how are we gonna get the kids to school and all that kind of stuff. And so we just got in the car and drove, and it was a quiet drive. You know, I wasn't nervous in any way. I have not been nervous or fearful whatsoever through this whole process, not once.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the only time I felt any sort of anxiousness, and really it was fleeting, was just before my surgery. I thought, what's life going to be like after this? Can I go back to resuming life?
And what's the answer?
The answer, overwhelmingly, miraculously, is yes. You know,
you were out of the hospital in how many days?
5 days. 5 days. Generally, it's,
show off.
Well, what can I say?
God is good.
God is good, absolutely. And you know, the awesome part about it is everyone around me has heard that from me. You know, and I make it a point of telling them, because if you're going to live a Christian life, then you might as well live it fully and believe that God is the one who's the author of everything. And for me, that's what's important.
Anti-rejection meds for life now?
Yep, yeah, and that's going to change over the next few years as they feel my liver and how it's working.
I hear you're a runner, so you have to pace yourself at, you know, getting back to the pace of life that you had.
Yeah, well, the liver is working amazingly. It's 100%. The issue more so is just the massive incision that it takes to get it in and out, or get the old one out and the new one in. Once that's healed up, life's going to go back to normal, apparently.
Wonderful to see. And a good reminder that the donor, the person who did not anticipate life ending, had signed a little card, signed their license, and that meant that probably 8 people have a better life or a saved life today because of it. It's
a selfless act, right? It's an act where you just believe that mankind is, we're all here, and we all need each other. And if you're going to pass away, why not?
Which we all are someday.
We are. So why not try and help somebody? You know, and if it weren't for that person, I might not be here.
Beadonor.ca. If we haven't got that done, I hope this will be an encouragement. Over 2,000 Canadians are waiting for a liver transplant.
I don't know about liver, but some sort of
transplant.
Yeah.
That could be facilitated in this way. Just really quickly, there's a picture that you brought. I'm not sure if you're in a classroom, but you're doing something with students.
Yeah.
That's part of your job?
It is. We do a grade 6 program where we teach kids about values and important decisions. And for me, one of the biggest attractions to being a police officer is being able to help people make sense of the decisions they make, and that the decisions they make are going to have consequences. And if I can help them make right decisions before they get to the point where it's too late, then that's important for me.
You win or lose by the way that you choose. Are you back to work?
I'm going to be back in about a month. I'll be back in the office, and then I'll be pushing pretty hard to be back on the road shortly after that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
for making this stop part of your downtime. And take it easy.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, what an encouraging story. Maybe you need a miracle today. God's in the business. He loves you. He knows all about it. Why not call our prayer lines and give us the thrill and the privilege of being part of your journey, believing with you for what only God can do.